The Skyhawks will open the season on Friday night. Southern Illinois coming to town. Coach, let's talk about the team. Let's just start about the first question that I'm hearing is, who's going to play point guard for you this year?
Second question.
Okay. You told me the last time I asked you that you've had 5 options.
Yeah, you could play Shea Cross could play the point. Jesse Ward could play the point. Katie Schubert could play the point. Deja Ruffin could play the point. Danielle Woolfolk could play the point.
Okay.
And Asia could bring the ball down the floor. So could Monique Jackson. So could Charisma Tyson. So could Chelsea Roberts. So could Haley Howard. Running out of people. I mean, we've talked about playing point guard by committee. Which if we do that, we would be hard to pressure because anybody would bring it down the floor. Whatever matchup we thought was to our advantage, they would bring it down the floor. But that means everybody's got to know everything on the floor. So everybody's got to know where to go from the point guard spot, and everybody's got to know where to go from the 2 and the 3. And that would take even longer to figure out. Now, I mean, it's an ideal situation if you can ever get there because you're totally interchangeable.
You see it. I see it in the NBA some, especially with a player like LeBron, who's not a point guard.
He can play anywhere, and so when he moves, everybody's got to adjust.
Yeah.
And it would be the same concept. But I don't know. Our system has been built on a point guard, and so we're going to try that first. But that could be one of the puzzle pieces that changes. We may end up doing something different. So
I remember when Jasmine and Heather were first here, and I wasn't certain which would be our point and which would be our 2. Those first games of their freshman year.
Right. We weren't either.
Yeah.
And many times we thought about pulling Newsom off the point and putting her on the wing and letting Butler have it. But then every time we would talk about doing it, Jasmine would get 38 at the point and Butler would get 42 at the 2, and you'd be like, why mess with something that's working? So I really don't know what this one will
What
bring.
are the qualities of a point guard?
Leadership. You've got to be someone that is a quarterback type player, very selfless, wanting everybody else to have more success than you. And in today's day and age, you don't find many.
Right.
They're all out there to do stuff to get seen and look what I did.
And plus, you have to be able to match up with the opposing team's point guard on the defensive end,
right.
possibly.
Yes, and that's where last year we would get hurt because our 2 guards were so little. And we've got another little one this year in Danielle, but she can get to the rim and she can do some things that a point guard can do. It's just we need the intangibles is where she's lacking, and to us that's probably the biggest part.
Let's talk about her, Danielle Woolfolk. She's a guard, 5'3" junior. She kind of reminds you of Heather and Jasmine just from stature and quickness.
She's probably quicker and faster than Butler and Newsom, except she won't use it like they did. She needed to play with them for a year and get just blown by and repeatedly so that she could understand what to do with the quickness that she's got. If she figures it out and if she puts it all together, she could have a really, really, really good year for us. If she doesn't, she can sit over there and cheer with me, and we'll,
Other players that you're going to see, Jesse Ward, to me, has been impressive in what I've seen. Went to Mississippi State. We played them in football from Clarksville. But, man, she can score.
She can. She's a scorer. She's a gym rat kid that loves it and works hard at it. And she deserves, success because of how hard the amount of time that she'll put in. Could play the 2 or the 3 or the 1 for that matter. So a very good guard that we wish would have played with Newsom and Butler for a year.
Katie Schubert did play with Newsom and Butler, and she was the kind of player that really excelled in that system because she did not need the spotlight to be on her to be effective, and we saw that she just didn't make a lot of mistakes through her career. Now she's in a situation as a junior where she's got to step it up a notch.
She needs to step it up a notch, but the way that she needs to step it up a notch is get everybody else to step it up a notch. She's not the athletic player that can take it and put it on the next level. She is a steady, mistake-free player who is going to make everyone else around her look really good, and so she, and her challenge is to get some of these kids that can put it on another level athletically to do it while she remains in that role of doing what she does best, which is keeping she's the glue to our team. I mean, she can play 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's funny if you ask anybody, who's your best point guard? Well, you'll say it's Woolfolk. Well, who's your best 2 player? Well, that's probably Jesse. Who's your best 3? Well, that's probably Shay. Well, who's your best 4? That's probably Asia. Who's your best 5? Well, that's probably Mo. Katie will lead us in minutes.
Right.
And you don't name her.
Yeah.
Well, who's your best backup at the 1? Katie. Who's the best backup at the 2? Katie. Who's the best backup at 3? Katie.
Yeah.
And who's the best backup at 4? Katie. And you can't keep. Katie's one of those players you have to put on the floor. And whenever she's on the floor, your team's going to be doing better 90% of the time.
Tell me about Asia. Asia had a tremendous season last year, especially late in the year and in the conference. She's a sophomore and seemed last year, even though she was on a team with natural leaders, that she became one of those leaders even as a freshman.
She did, and she's doing better now. She's going to have to figure out what it's like to play with the spotlight on her, and that's going to be very different. So there's another piece to the puzzle that we're going to have to figure out, that Asia's got to learn that they're going to be scheming for her now rather than just scheming for Butler or Newsome. So, again, there's so many, Chris, there's so many pieces and the thing that I'm the most scared of with this team is that we'll figure one out, and then when we start to work on the next one, we'll look back and that other one has moved or changed or done something, and we got to go back and fix this one, and then we got to go turn back over every time we look. So we're hoping as we step from one to the next that we don't ever have to go backwards.
Which you did, something. Was it 2 years ago?
2 years ago we did.
You said the process got mixed up.
Yeah,
the recipe got mixed up.
And the thing is I'm not making the mistake this year.
Yeah.
What I want to do right now is get these kids in a system that's going to be successful and well, they don't understand yet what it really means to play here. So you can't shortcut that. So there's another reason that it's going to be slow going for us in November and December, because these kids have to learn how important this thing is in Martin, Tennessee, and in West Tennessee. So there's another thing that's keeping this from being really good really early. And we're definitely not going to peak in November.
Okay.
There's no question. I caught you off guard with that one. But there's, you know how coaches worry about peaking early. Yeah. Well, we won't be peaking early in November.
We're out of time, Coach. You have Southern Illinois at 6:30 Friday night. We want the fans to come to the Elam
Big
Center.
Opener. Southern Illinois got a really good team. 2 guards that didn't play last year are back. Very, very good basketball team, and it'll be a challenge. Then we hit the road after that to Louisville
Sunday. Thank you, Coach, and we'll see you Friday.
Thanks.
Coach Kevin McMillan, again, that is Friday afternoon, 6:30. We'll have it on the radio beginning at 6. It's on 104.9 KYTN with all the high school playoff football action on the radio. And then after that, the men's team opening up their season at Marquette will have the broadcast of that game. So a doubleheader from the Elam Center and then at Marquette back-to-back on 104.9. Sunday we'll be on the radio with the women's team at Louisville, and that's a 1 o'clock start against Louisville. Thanks to Coach Kevin McMillan. Thanks to Coach Jason Simpson. Frank and the gang here. Snappy Tomato Pizza. Alex, good job tonight. And Trudy, I'm Chris Brinkley saying so long, everybody. Go to UTMsports.com on the World Wide Web for all the information you need when it comes to UT Martin Athletics. Big Orange Hotline coming up next here as you can listen to talk about Tennessee football and basketball. I'm Chris Brinkley on the Skyhawk Sports Network.